Living with the Series X dev units, prototypes, on my desk and around our studio for years, but this is like the way somebody will experience it for the first time.
The next generation of gaming consoles are coming, and they're coming very soon. But while everyone who is a fan of Microsoft and Sony is pumped for the launching of their systems, the real question is that of what games you'll be playing when you get those systems. Because launch titles go a long way to determining the long-term sales of the system. So on the Microsoft side of things, what do they have? Allow us to show you the best games for Xbox Series X at launch. Be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Number 10. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be available for both Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, but Xbox owners can get it 2 days earlier, which is obviously a big plus for them. The game releases alongside the Series X on November 10th, with the PS5 release following on Sony's November 12th console launch date. Either way, Valhalla is aiming to be another big improvement on the Assassin's Creed saga, which has been booming in popularity again since Origins and Odyssey helped push things back in the right direction. The game is touting the ability to go and be in several different nations and lands and fulfill your Viking desires. Plus, the stories and options with combat are said to be even deeper than Odyssey. Yeah, it's a multiple platform game, but you'll get it first on Xbox. Number 9. Fortnite. Okay, we'll be honest, this isn't so much a launch title per se, as it is more of a, yeah, you can play Fortnite on Xbox Series X too kind of situation. But it's still worth mentioning because of the very basic fact that Fortnite is still killing it in the money department. You'd think that the game that helped make the Battle Royale franchise famous would lose steam and just die off, but it hasn't. Granted, it's not as big as it was during its boom, but it's still dominating the market because of Epic Games' ability to go and upgrade and add in little things to go and make gamers happy, and want to come back for more. Plus, with the promised power and computing speed of the Xbox Series X, it's believed that the game will run faster and smoother than ever, which is a big win for Epic Games as well as for Microsoft, because that means certain players might get their system so that they can play at the highest level possible. Number 8. Cuisine Royale. If you're into Battles Royale but not a fan of Fortnite, Cuisine Royale may be for you. It's a less cartoonish take on Last Man Standing shootouts, in which you earn ingredients that you'll then craft into skins and new items, putting the cuisine in cuisine warfare. Originally debuted in 2018 on Steam, it'll be available at launch on Xbox Series X. More or less, this is another cash grab of sorts, but it's one that might just work. Because, as many other games have proven, people are hungry for a new kind of Battle Royale experience, pardon the pun. So if anything, you can get both Fortnite and Cuisine Battle Royale and see which one you like more. Or get them both and play them off and on to keep the feeling fresh. Either way works. Number 7. Dirt 5. What better way to show off next-gen power than with mud? Lots and lots of mud. Well, and cars too. Dirt 5 launches on the Xbox One and PS4 on November 6th, with the Series X release following on November 10th. What's key about this new entry of Dirt, though, is that the game is aiming to not just be a beautiful racing game, but one that has a story. It has some all-star talent in the game, like Nolan North and Troy Baker. Dirt 5 presents its story through an in-game podcast with real-life automotive podcasters James Pumphrey and Nolan Sykes, two gearheads who have a hard time taking anything very seriously. That meant improvising much of what brings the characters to life in the game. Both Troy and Nolan went deep into their characters to add more depth to the title, and you'll see that for yourself when you get to play it. Number 6. Borderlands 3. Borderlands 3 is coming to the Xbox Series X and PS5 on their respective launch days. It takes the Xbox One PS4 version and kicks it up to 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, or 1440p resolution for the Series S. More importantly, there will be gameplay upgrades, the inclusion of local split-screen co-op play, a new game mode, and added skill trees for all character classes. Borderlands 3 was a game long in development, but it proved its worth many times over when it finally came out. And now, you can arguably play the best version of it on Xbox Series X. So, why not? Number 5. Bright Memory. Bright Memory is a game from Chinese developer FYQD Personal Studio, one that's kind of like a gritty first-person version of Devil May Cry. It's a first-person shooter where you'll also wield a sword and several futuristic powers. An updated version of the game, Bright Memory Infinite, is coming out next year. It may not be for everyone, but considering the lineup of titles that the Xbox Series X has, it'll be one of the most fresh of the bunch, and that matters to a lot of people. Number 4. Mortal Kombat 11. Okay, time to get bloody, and we mean that here because it's time to talk Mortal Kombat 11. Not unlike Borderlands 3, the Xbox Series X version of the game is one that is meant to be the best version via its upgraded graphics and runtimes. Perfect for those who want to do online play. Not to mention, if you go and get the upcoming MK11 Ultimate version, you'll get all the DLC from the game, and that has been a very robust thing, as NetherRealm Studios and gamers will tell you. Just some of the things they've added is an extended story via Aftermath, the return of friendship finishes, and of course, a plethora of DLC characters like Nightwolf, Sindel, Robocop, Terminator, Joker, Spawn, and the upcoming Milena, Rain, and Rambo. Yes, that Rambo. So no matter where you fall on the Mortal Kombat scale, this is one game you'll at least want to consider when it arrives on Xbox Series X. Number 3. Evergate. Move over, Ori, there's a new wisp in town. Evergate is a puzzle and platformer game released back in August for the Switch and on Steam. It leans more heavily into the puzzle part of its genre, and benefits as a result. GameSpot's Steve Watts called it a remarkably clever game that constantly invents new ways to interact with the world. It hits Xbox Series X on November 10th. If we're being honest here, games like Evergate, and Ori to be fair, are what keep games moving forward. They're innovative titles that focus on the fundamentals while also delivering unique experiences. Everyone loves to tout the big and beautiful titles from AAA developers, but it's the titles like Evergate that go and make some of the biggest waves around, as Ori and the Blind Forest and Will of the Wisps proves. So why not take a chance on Evergate? You might be surprised how much you like it. Number 2. Manifold Garden. If you're looking for a truly trippy experience, then you'll want to go and get something like Manifold Garden. Because this title is definitely something else. A first-person puzzle game, it was developed by an artist who previously worked with sculptures rather than a more typical game dev type. It was released for PC last year, followed by Switch, Xbox One, and PS4 ports this year. An updated version will be available alongside the Xbox Series X launch. It's another in a long line of titles that makes you think in a world that is very atypical. Perfect for those who want to get the most out of their new console instead of just doing the same old things. Number 1. Watch Dogs Legion. Watch Dogs Legion is the third game in Ubisoft's Watch Dogs franchise, and it takes place in surveillance London. The open-world, slightly dystopian game gets 2 weeks of next-gen exclusivity on Series X. It'll launch alongside Microsoft's new console on November 10th, before coming to the PlayStation 5 on November 24th. Again, a perk for Xbox owners. But what makes Legion so special is that it lets you make your own crew to try and take down the government who has abused their power tenfold. You can make the team any way you like. There are hundreds of people you can recruit, and each one has abilities and skills you can wield in order to get the job done. And when they die, they're dead. So go and make the best team and make sure you keep them safe. All of London is counting on you. So what do you think? What do you think of these video games that are going to be on the Xbox Series X when it launches? Are you excited to play some of these titles? Which ones are you going to get day one so you can play them on the new system? Or which ones are you going to wait to enjoy for one reason or another? What post-launch titles are you waiting for on the Xbox Series X? Let us know in the comments below, be sure to subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the channel.